Let's do some dose calculation for the NCLEX. I have 10 questions to show you how I usually do it, key fact, techniques to do this, and you'll be able to solve any dose calculation questions. Let's get to it. This is a quick one to get you thinking. What is the client total intake? This is an intake question. A client post-op day 1 from appendectomy. 3 cups of what? Ice chips, 2 cups of what? Orange juice, 2 cups of water, 2 cups of pureed, 1 cup of ice cream, and then getting lactate ringer running at 100 ml for 4 hours. So what do? You got to take each one of them together and then add them all together. So look at it. Yeah, I don't want you to forget this number. 1 cup is always what? It has a volume, is 8 ounces, and is equivalent to 240 ml. So don't forget that number. So the first one is 3 cups of ice chips. We know that 1 cup of ice chip is what? Like I said, 240 ml. But when the ice melt, it only give you half. So 1 cup will give you 120 ml. So 120 ml times 3 will give you 360 ml. That's the total of the ice that the patient is going to have. Remember, 1 cup of ice, even though it's 240 when it has not melted, when it melts, but as you take in, it's going to melt in your mouth. It will lead to like 120 ml of fluid. So this will be 360. 2 cups of orange juice. Yeah. So for orange juice, it's the same. That one, we keep it that way. 2 cups of orange juice. 1 cup of orange juice is 240, and 240 times 2 is 480. 480 of orange juice. 2 cups of water is the same thing. 480 of water, basically. And 2 cups of pureed, what do you think? We don't add pureed. Pureed is not considered a liquid. So this is a trap. So don't add. So for the pureed, we put 0. So there is 0 here. 1 cup of ice cream. So 1 ice cream. Ice cream is already melted. So usually that will be 240 ml. And the patient is receiving what? 100 ml for every hour for 4 hours. So for IV fluid, the patient receives 400 ml. Then you add all of them together. So when you add all of them together, the total is 2080 ml. So we added this, that, and that. This is 0. So the amount of fluid the patient took in the morning within that 4 hours is 2080 ml. That's the way you do it. Don't forget that pureed is not added. For ice, 1 cup is half, basically a cup. So instead of 240, you make it 120. And don't forget, 1 cup is 8 ounces. So sometimes they will write a question, they say 1 cup of 8 ounces. They're trying to confuse you. Let me write it. 1 cup of 8 ounces. It's the same as just basically forget about the 8 ounces, because most average cups that we use, they are 8 ounces cup. And so we have just 1 cup is equal to what? 240 ml. That's all. Okay, so that's your strategy. A new graduate nurse received the following order: 750 of ml of lactate ringer is infusing over 5 hours. A Macrodrip IV tubing you need to be used. How many drops per minute patients should receive? So this question is different. We're looking for drops per minute, and they've given you Macrodrip IV, and then they'll give you how much you should infuse in 5 hours, right? You need to remember these numbers, okay? There's something we call micro drops per ml, okay? Micro drops per ml. And this is usually, when it said micro, it's usually 60 drops per ml. If they give you macro, it's usually 20 drops per ml. Why is the difference? The micro is done used for precisely. It will give you small drops, but it's used for like pediatric. And so the tubing is very precise, very small. So it takes a long time for that fluid to go away. So the drops are many in a ml. But if it's a micro, it's a large bowl. So the drops are less in a ml. So it's very confusing. Even though we think macro is bigger, the macro is actually the smaller drops. Okay, smaller drops. That means the drops you have small amount of drops in a ml, 20 drops in a ml. But if it's micro, it's very small, so it takes a long time. Okay, and then the way I do this is I don't use formula. I use dimension analysis, but I'll show you where that formula came from. Is to prescribe those, okay, times the available will always give you the answer. You just have to manipulate the formula, the way the dimension goes, and you get the answer. And I will show you. Straightforward. You don't have to do anything. Key factor, okay? So this is the way I do it. What is my prescribed dose? They give me 750 lactate ringer over 5 hours. So 750 ml of lactate ringer over 5 hours. Then I go and look at the answer choice. I need drops. As soon as I write my prescribed dose, I need to look at the answer. I need drops per minute. That means my answer should have a minute at the bottom, minute at the bottom, and then top is what? Drops. So I write it here like that. Now, if I need to get minutes, I need to convert these 5 hours into minutes. So I have 1 hour here into what? 60 minutes. That means this hour cancel that. Then I bring my prescribed and my available dose. What is the available dose? It's the macro. The macro, I told you, is 20. So, and I need to have drops on top. So 20 drops, I put it here per what? ml, right? So ml, that's what I give you. ml, cancel ml. So I'm left with 750 times 20 drops over 5 times what? 60 minutes. That's all. And that should give you drops per minute. That's your answer right there. Right. This is the way the answer will be done. And the answer that you get is 50 drops per minute. So this is how much drops you're going to get per minute. And based on that, when you calculate, straightforward. So it's not that and difficult. You just have to write it this way. So this is the first one. Okay. The next one. Same thing. A client was admitted for what? DKA and receiving what? 20 ml per hour of regular insulin as infusion. They will write it, but just relax. Don't worry. It looks confusing. The insulin comes in what? 50 units in 50 ml of normal saline. Calculate the amount in unit of insulin received every hour. Just step back, okay? And he said, fine. I need my answer to be what? Unit of what? Insulin received in every hour. So my answer, I'm looking for unit per hour, right? Now, what is my prescribed? I told you my prescribed dose. My prescribed, he said the client was admitted for DK and receiving. He cannot receive anything without prescription. So he's receiving 20 ml per hour of regular insulin. So this is what was prescribed, 20 ml of insulin every hour? The answer choice said an hour. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to change it. All I need is a unit. And where do I get my unit? Is the available one. The insulin comes in. It comes in. That's when it's available. How is we get it? It's available in 50 units in 550 ml of normal saline. I look at the answer choice. I need the unit to be on top. So 50 units over 50 ml of normal saline. And I have my answer. I cancel the ml. I'm left with what? I leave my unit an hour because I need unit an hour. So I'm left with what? 20 times 50 over 50. 50, 50 cancel. Therefore, patient is receiving what? 20 units every hour. That's all. This cancel that, and then you left with this. You see, it's not that hard. You don't have to memorize all these formulas they try to give you. Don't do that. Dimensional analysis, write what they give you and what is being available and what your answer should look like. I'm hoping I'm making sense. But I know this is always a problem with people calculation. And then you memorize the formula and you can sometimes say that's not fit. Okay, so next one. A nurse received an order of infusion of what? 1,000 ml over 8 hours of lactate drinker. If the, once again, micro drip factor, this one they've given you. If they don't give you, you assume micro is 60 drops per minute and the macro is 20. But if they give it to you, use what they've given to you. So calculate what? The drip per minute. Whatever they've given you is what I'm going to use. I'm going to write my answer here. Drip per minute. I have to make sure my answer is like that. And I said, what is the prescription? An order. It said an order, therefore I know this is a prescription. I need what? 100,000 ml over what? 8 hours. Then I look at my answer. Is it minutes? Right away, I'm converting you to minutes. So I have 1 hour over 60 minutes. That's all. Then I cancel the hour right away. Now available is your drip rate they've given you. Your drip GTT has to be on top. So I will leave it that way. 15 GTT, that's the drip, over ml. And I see ml cancel. And you can see you have drip per minute. So you have what? So we have 31. Now answer choice 31.25. Look, make sure that on the test, they will tell you, running up to the nearest whole number. Don't write it. You get it wrong. Because most of these, you got to put in the numbers. So if they ask you to run it to the whole number, it just will be 31. There's no 31.25 drip. It will be 31 drip per minute. So be careful. So this is the answer. Are you guys getting it? I hope so. We have 10 of them, so let's do that. But different flavors, but the same strategy. A client was prescribed, this one I give you the word, buzzword, prescribed 80 units per kilo IV bolus of heparin before continuous infusion. Heparin is available, that's when it's available, in 1,000 units per ml. The client weigh this, 110 pounds. How many heparin in ml? I've told you, I just need the volume the nurse should administer. For this, immediately you see pound, just convert it into a kilo, right? 1 kilo is equal to 2.2 pounds. Therefore, this will be 110 over 2.2. And this gave you 50 kilos right away. You're done. Now, I come in. What is the answer choice? Answer choice say I need heparin to be what? ml. That's all. There's no rate, anything, ml. So I make sure my final answer look like that. Then I look, is there any prescribed? Yeah, they give me 80 units over a kilo. That's what they need. 80 units of the patient per kilo. But I know the patient weigh what, 50 kilos. I got to get rid of this. So I put my 50 kilo here so that I can get rid of the kilos over 1. Then boom, boom. I've done with the prescribed one. What is available? It's available in what? 1,000 units per ml. This is the problem. Most people have problem. Look at the unit. It's give you 1,000 units per ml. Since my answer choice has to be in ml, I just flip it. 1,000 per ml is the same as ml per 1,000. You just write it like that, flip it. So I'll put ml up and I'll put 1,000 units. It's the same thing. 1,000 units here, like that. You're done. The unit cancel. We have canceled the kilos. Now we left with ml. That's why our answer should be in ml, right? And 8 times 5 is what? 40, right? So 40, so you have 4, 40, and 2 zeros. 0, 0 over 1,000. All 3 cancel. You left with what? 4 ml. So the patient will be receiving 4 ml. That's what he's going to get. Okay, so what is the client? How many heparin ml the nurse should administer? That's 4 ml. Straightforward. The next one. The client was prescribed what? Acetaminophen, 10 milligram per kilo by mouth every 4 hours. The nurse is available. The drug is available 30 milligram per ml. The client weigh what? 22 pounds. How much acetaminophen in ml? That's volume. Should the nurse administer? The same thing. I put my ml here. I convert 22 pounds into kilos. Therefore, I divide this by 22 over what? 2.2, which is what? 10. So I get a 10 kilos. And I go to the prescribed medication, 10 milligram over what? 1 kilo. That's how much they told me it is. I have 10 kilos, just convert it. Put the 10 kilo and get rid of the kilos. Boom, you're done. Now, available, he said, forget about the 4 hours. It's just telling you the frequency. That's all, right? Every 4 hours, how much do you give him? That's all. It's available in 30 milligram per ml. I need an ml answer. 30 milligram, like I told you, per ml, the same as ml over 30. So I put ml over 30 milligram in order to cancel it out. So milligram, milligram. Now I've left with ml. That's all. So this will be what? 10 times 10 is 100 ml over 30. And therefore, this will be what? 3.3, depending on what they say. If they said run into the nearest, you just be like 3 ml. So the kid will get what? Acetaminophen 3 ml every time you need it every 4 hours. Straightforward. Okay, guys. A nurse is preparing a heparin infusion for a client who was hospitalized with DVT. Now he has DVT, right? He's preparing it. What is the order that she received? She received an order of that breeder like this: 250 units of heparin and 250 of that. If you see this, this is what is available. This is always confuse people. The order said what? 2,500 units of heparin. Whenever you see that they add the dose to a volume, that means that's what it comes in with. An order read 25,000 units of heparin in 250 ml of normal saline. That is your available. This is how it's available. This is what the pharmacy will give you. So don't worry about it. And then to infuse, that means that's the order you're supposed to give to the patient. 80 units every hour. So at what rate should the nurse set the infusion? The same thing. You're going to set a rate has to be what? Some amount, volume over time. So I know I'm going to have time here, right? And I'm going to have some volume, right? I'm going to leave it like that. That's the way to go, okay? So now, what is the issue? What is the available? What is prescribed? I have 800 units in an hour. That's all, right? There's no conversion anywhere. They said, what is the rate? I can leave my answer in units or in an hour, in time, right? I did not give it to you. I intentionally did it that way so that you can think about it. I think this is what somebody posted when we were doing the class. So I'm using that. But that is the rate, okay? 800 units per hour, right? Now, what is available? Okay, what is available is 2,500 units of heparin in 250 ml. Therefore, you can see to have a volume over time, I need to have a volume. So the volume is going to be 250 because there's unit here, the unit has to go down. So 250 ml go here. And then the unit, which is 25,000 units, go down like that. The 0.9 normal saline, you don't use it. Now unit, cancel unit. And what you left with is this 8,000 times 250 ml. So the volume is ml and an hour over an hour. That's how the patient is going to get it. So this cancel this. This 25 cancel, it become like 100. These two zeros cancel this zero. Therefore, the patient is going to get 8 ml every hour. That's how the rate we're going to set it so that they can receive what they need to receive. That's all. So that's the way to calculate this one. This is how you can set the infusion pump so that they can get whatever they need to get based on what is given. So you set the pump so that you can get every ml, just ml in an hour, ml in an hour. But they've given you a unit, you just convert the 800 units to into ml, and which is 8 ml every hour. That's how the patient will get based on the calculation. Straightforward. Similar question, similar language. A nurse is preparing a heparin infusion for a client who was hospitalized with DVT. The client is prescribed this. So that's the prescribed dose, right? Now I put a kilo there and an hour, right? The client weigh what? 220 pounds. The pharmacy deliver, this is how much is available. Those are the bars where I highlight them so that you can see. It deliver, when you use the word deliver, that's what is available for them. 25,000 units of heparin. It has to be in the volume, 250 ml, so that at every ml, you can calculate how much unit of heparin is in it. At what rate? I told you what you want it to be. ml per hour now. I give you. So how would you set the infusion? So the infusion, we want to know how much ml per hour. That's how you set the infusion rate. But then I have my pound. I told you 210 pound has to be converted into kilos. So 210 over, no, 220 over 2.2. And so this is equivalent to 100 kilos. Then we look for the prescribed. The prescribed has 3 units. Pay attention. So it has 800 units over a kilo. So I put my kilo there. But look, he has another unit, an hour. So this one, I just divide it and I write 1 hour because he has 2 units. Both of them are at the lower portion of it. They are down. Now I need to take care of my kilos. I calculate my kilos here. So I put my 1,800 kilo here, and I put 1 here, and I cancel my kilo right away. I'm done. Now, what is available? 25,000 units of heparin, 250. I have my hour here. I'm safe. Now I need an ml. I have a unit here. I got to cancel the unit. So the unit will be down. That's what it means. That's why I told you, you got to flip it back depending on what you have. So if I have 25,000 units and I have unit already here, I will put the 25,000 down here. And then my ml has to be on top because my answer has to be ml on top. And then you're done. Unit, cancel unit. This cancel here. This 25 cancel here. So we have 100 here. And we have 100 here. This 100 also cancel. And you have just what? 80. 800 ml per hour. That's what the patient is going to receive based on the numbers. So 800 ml, because I've canceled all these numbers, I will be left with 800 ml per hour. And that is the fluid the client is going to receive. It's a lot of fluid. I just did it so that you can see all the numbers. I just put numbers there to make it happen. So a client in septic shock need dobutamine for management of hemodynamics. The nurse receive an order that reads 10 microgram per a minute of dobutamine and 6 milligram in 250 of D5W. Calculate the infusion rate in ml per hour. The nurse should program the IV pump. This is a little bit difficult, but you got to slow down. I told you, if you say 6 milligram in 250, or you see milligram in 250, these are your available, what is pharmacy will provide to you. If they give you this rate, this is the prescribed dose. And then you do the rest. They say calculate the infusion rate in ml per hour. So that's my answer. They want my answer to be what? ml per hour. That's all. I write it here. So what is prescribed? I have 10. Be careful. This is microgram in a minute. My answer choice has to be in what? An hour. So I convert this minute into an hour right away. 60 minutes, an hour. And so I cancel this. Straightforward. I see that there is a milligram here. I need to convert this microgram into milligram. So I have what? 1 milligram is what? 1,000 microgram. So I've taken care of that so that we can have this cancel out. Now I need ml over an hour. 6 milligram in 250 ml. I need to put the ml on top, 250 ml, right? ml on top, and put the 6 milligram down so that the 6 can cancel this. And you're done. You're just done. All you need to do is just do the calculation, right? The 6 here cancels the 60, and you're left with 10. These zeros cancel each other. 1, 2. There's only 1 0 here. This is cancel. This is cancel. This is cancel. There's 1 0 here and 250 here. This cancel here. What is left is 25. 25 ml an hour. Straightforward. I think I got it right based on the calculation. I just want to make sure I don't mix anything. This 1,000 cancel. I just cancel the numbers and I'm left with the 6 is gone. We still have an hour here. And 250. There's no zeros anymore. 25. And that's all. If you find another answer, just let me know. But this is what I find. 25 milligram per ml per hour. That's what you need. Next one. The client is post-op day 1 from appendectomy. Client developed pulmonary embolism and receiving heparin. What? Receiving. That's what is being prescribed. That's why he's getting it. 1,300 units per hour off 250 units of heparin in. You see, so this is your available and this is your prescribed. And you want the answer to be what? In ml. I put my ml here. I go for my prescribe. I say, what is that? 130, 1,300 units an hour. Okay. And then I said, okay, I need to do something about this, right? How much is given in 6 hours, right? So that's the answer choice. They're telling you in 6 hours. Client received this in 6 hours. So I don't need to convert this and I will figure out later. So this is in every hour. I just leave it that way. Or you can put 6 there, but I will just leave it. This is the volume that he's going to get, and then you can multiply in 6 hours. That's what you can do it. So that's the first aspect of it. Now, what is prescribed and what is available dose? We have 25,000 units of heparin in 500 ml. Unit is up. I need to cancel the unit. So 500 ml need to go up, and then 250, 500, 2,500 units will be down. That's all. So the unit cancel, and I have ml on top, and then I have an hour will be below. So this cancel, this is 2 zeros, 5, cancel 5, you have 50 here. Another 0 cancel here. And then you have 1,300 divided by 5, which is almost like 7, which is almost 26. So 26 ml over an hour. So that's what the patient is going to receive. But look at the question. What is the amount of heparin ml client receive in 6 hours? So 26 times 6. Every hour is receiving that much. So in 26, in 6 hours, it's going to change. You just multiply by 6, basically. So 26 times 6 is 156. So the client is going to get 156 ml of heparin. So the answer has to be in ml because these are per hour and this is 6 hours. And that's the way you do this question because they're asking you how much heparin in 6 hours. So the amount that you get, you multiply by 6. You can put it in the beginning of the case where you put 6 hours here over 1, and that will take care of it right away. So let me do it, and you can see it's the same thing. I put 130 units, 1,300 units over hour. The question said in ml in 6 hours. So I put times 6 hours here. So the hours is gone. Okay, I put 1 here. So the hours is gone. The same thing. 500 over 25,000 units ml. And this will put the answer in ml. It's all dimensional analysis. So unit cancel, hours cancel, and you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 5. You have 50 here, and 0, 0, which is 130 times 6 over 5, which is what we got. We got this first. We get 23 multiplied by 6, and the answer will be the same ml. Okay, so that's the way to do it. And this is the end of it. Thank you for sticking around as usual. Very difficult cases, but I hope you learned something out of it, how to do this kind of calculation. He has all variation of it. And then hope you enjoy it. Subscribe if you want more content like that. All the best of luck. Good luck.